She looked very uncomfortable there for a moment. I want to go over here.
We're here, hopefully, to talk to you. Are you touching, Jeff?
Something's touching the back of my jumper at the bottom.
Someone's walking. I can hear the walking at the bottom. But at least just forget the prisoners that would have been used. I thought someone spoke.
But we would be interested in talking to you.
Yes, sir, yes.
Living poison. Manufactured records.
It's like a light is in my face, but I can't fall for you. I close my eyes and drift away. I've toast on you. Cause then you wake up dead one day.
Dead Man's Island, also known as the Detached Bastion. Towards the end of the 18th century, England was at war with America and her allies, France, Spain, and the Netherlands, in the American War of Independence. At the time, there was a large army amassed on the other side of the Channel ready to invade. This forced the building of massive defence works around Dover. These were to supplement the aging medieval castles, so large forts were constructed on the Western Heights. The bastion was constructed to provide a defensive line between the two main forts in Dover, the Citadel and the Redoubt. Construction work began in 1804 during the Napoleonic Wars, but the work ceased when peace was declared in 1815 and left unfinished. The bastion was completed when there was a renewal threat of war from continental Europe in 1867. This resulted in two bastions being linked together, known as the North Centre Bastion and the Detached Bastion. It is rumoured that prisoners were kept at the Detached Bastion before being transferred onto what was known as prison hulks. Prison hulks were floating prison ships that had their internal structure reconfigured, including jail cells, in order to accommodate convicted criminals or occasionally prisoners of war. In 2016, more than 200 human remains were found offshore, men and young boys who died from disease on board these prison hulks 200 years ago. Originally buried in wooden coffins and then thrown overboard, they laid under 6 feet of mud, but coastal erosion and rising sea levels then washed away the mud to expose the remains. We have located several photographs taken by visitors to Dead Man's Island supporting claims of the paranormal activity that takes place here. White mist that has the shape of a skeleton. Orbs of light that move in the corridors and tunnels. And shadow figures that hide within its walls. Peter will be joining us on this investigation to operate one of our full spectrum cameras. It has been a year since Pete joined us on an investigation due to family commitments, and due to the size of the location, we are all glad he's on board. Okay, we're in the first section of the detached bastion that's also known as Dead Man's Island. We're going to start off in this area. It's quite an extensive place. So we're going to do an EVP session here, and then we'll move on to the other section. I've just set up a tri-field meter there. See if we can pick up any disturbance in the electromagnetic field. Very, very quiet. Very quiet. We've come here today to speak to any of the soldiers that once worked and lived here, protecting our country from invasion. If any of you are here and can hear my voice, can you make some sort of noise or shout out? Or indeed, if you like to touch that device behind me, it will go into alarm and let us know that you're with us. So can you please come forward and let yourselves be heard? Now we know that some of you are still here. Because you've been captured in photographs. And for some reason, a part of this place has been called the Devil's Tunnel. And that's because apparently through that walkway things happen to people. And also there's meant to be a man in white. So can you approach us now, please? Can you come and speak to us? How many of you are here? A voice is captured on my digital recorder and on our camera's audio saying, "I see him," followed by some kind of movement within the tunnel. Here is the enhanced audio. How many of you are here? How many of you are here? They say that this place is connected to the prison hulks, where prisoners were taken on large boats and they were thrown into the sea. I just see a white light just down the end here, past our static cam 2. And these prison hulks, these ships had prisoners on there, and they would throw them into the sea, some of them having their heads removed, and the bodies are now being found on the beach and being washed up. Another voice comes from nearby. As I am talking about the prison ships, a spirit responds by saying, "Help me." Here is the audio enhanced. No, I was just listening. I thought someone spoke. Is there anyone down there? Who's there? Someone's walking. I can hear the walking at the bottom. Someone's walking. I can hear the walking at the bottom. Someone's walking. I can hear the walking at the bottom. What's your name, soldier? Tell me your name, please. Which war did you fight in? Can you come and speak to me, please? We don't mean to invade in your space. We're actually here to speak to any of the spirits that are still here, that fought for this country. And we appreciate everything that you've done, and that's why we're here. I've just heard you walking, heard you moving. So this device I've got in my hand, it will not harm you, will not hurt you. It records your voice. And you see that little red light there? Can you speak into that little red light and tell us your name, please? I heard something, but I don't know what it was. We make our way further through the corridors, and unknown to us at this point, we have entered the Devil's Tunnel, where it is reported that people hear voices and also get touched by an entity that stays within this section.
I would imagine you see a reasonable amount of people coming through here, because although it's pretty much closed off, people do come in and they drink and party from time to time. You must see that going on. That's not why we're here. We're here, hopefully, to talk to you, to find out more about why you're here, whether you've always been here, whether you worked here, and indeed whether you died here. And we're not here to cause you any harm or to make you leave. But we would be interested in talking to you.
Oh, that made me jump.
Don't know what that was.
Somebody just spoke right in my ear.
Came from over there.
Here.
Yeah, behind you.
Right there.
Okay. Now, if that was you answering my questions, it made my colleague here, Jeff, jump. I think he's still recovering.
We all hear a disembodied voice when it speaks directly into my ear, answering yes to Phil's question, which takes me by surprise. Here is the enhanced audio.
But we would be interested in talking to you.
Oh, that made me jump.
Don't know what that was.
Somebody just spoke right in my ear.
Came from over there.
Here.
Yeah, behind you.
Right there.
but we would be interested in talking to you.
Oh, that made me jump.
Don't know what that was.
Somebody just spoke right in my f***ing ear.
Came from over there.
Here,
Yeah, behind you.
right there.
It would seem that Jeff can hear you very well, so perhaps stand next to him and shout in his ear. Or indeed, if you find that he can't hear you, perhaps touch him. Or throw something.
Speak to me again.
Does it take a lot of energy? Do you find it difficult to communicate? Or perhaps you're apprehensive about what will happen if you make yourself known? Now, these thoughts were built at a time when warfare was changing, and we realised...
Hold on, Phil. Pete, is there something on my back?
Well, I can see.
Are you touching Jeff?
Something's touching the back of my jumper at the bottom. Can you have a look, Pete? Get the camera on it.
At the bottom. My belt line?
No, higher up in the middle of my back. It feels like something's touching, pushing against my back. I can feel it. I can actually feel it.
You still feel it?
Yeah.
Have you got any...
I'm not near the wall, am I?
No? Just K2.
I can feel it.
It's cold there.
Is it?
Yeah. Hold that again.
I thought it was me.
No?
Is it cold there? It feels like something's pushing against my back.
Yeah, just there. It's cold.
Okay. Keep talking, Phil. Keep going. I'll just stand here.
Okay. So, are you stood behind Jeff now? I did ask you, perhaps if you couldn't make him hear you, to touch him, and if he can feel you, that's great. Can you move him? Can you physically push him forwards? Sorry, mate.
Can you take your hand off my back now? Just move away from me, please.
Stand away from him, please. Just so we know that you can hear us.
It stopped.
Okay.
My back is freezing.
It was cold behind your back.
It is absolutely freezing. That's where I was being touched there. Right there. Absolutely freezing. At the same time as I am being touched, our motion detector back down in the corridor is activated as it picks up something moving within the darkness.
I thought we just heard something.
I did. Something's like... You alright, Clive?
No, right. Got to spook then, sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, good. I felt very uncomfortable there for a moment. I want to go over here.
Okay.
What, down here?
Yeah, just by the door. I didn't feel very comfortable.
Hold on a couple. Well, you just didn't feel comfortable? You thought someone was behind you?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help. Your voice seemed to travel differently for some reason. It just, as you're talking now, it's normal, but for some reason it just felt really amplified for some reason, and I felt a bit of a draft behind me, and I didn't feel comfortable.
Okay.
Like it was a vacuum being caused or something.
Let's continue. So, these places were abandoned quite quickly. Were you here during that process? Did you see the way warfare was changing? One of the reasons why in latter years we were well protected and places in Europe fell at the hands of Hitler was because they hadn't adapted their warfare in places like France, and they still went into castles. And of course Hitler just went round them. Tell me about what you did. What was your purpose here? Were you part of the military? Can you tell me your name, your rank, and your number? As I think Jeff said earlier, this little device I'm holding with the red light, it might seem unusual to you. You might wonder what it is, but it's a small machine which records your voice. And even if we can't hear you now, we can listen. Was it movement from over there, Clive?
Did you hear it?
I thought it did. And just behind me as well, just then. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Are you right behind me now?
And again,
Yes. Can you see it?
I can hear it, but I can't see it.
Completing the first part of our investigation, we now make our way to the other section of Dead Man's Island. So we've now made our way to the other part of the detached bastion, as I say, known as Dead Man's Island, and we're going to make our way now down to the end of this long tunnel.
So we are on the end of the, well, I'd call it gunnery, basically, the battery. I would have had an upper deck that, as you can see, is not very fit for purpose anymore. There have been slits up there for soldiers to fire out of, and also down the bottom. But all we've been talking about is the soldiers that would have worked here and been stationed here in whatever war was going on at the time. But at least let's forget the prisoners that would have been used at some point as slave labour here, maybe cleaning, cooking, making beds, slopping out. So maybe there's some prisoners in here that have left their spirits behind. Just in case. Maybe there's someone who wants to let us know that they wasn't a soldier, but they were a servant of some kind in the officers' mess. And just still walking these dark tunnels, perhaps. Okay, now at a higher level. Behind me are some more cells with some more firing slots. Obviously this is on 2 different levels, and this would be the second level up here because of the hills. Just wondering if perhaps there's anybody up here on this level that could let us know that you worked here. Obviously the floors would have been a lot stronger than what they are now. They seem to be made of slate and they are crumbling away, so I'm not going to be walking on them. But there would have been quite a few soldiers up here, you would have thought. Does anybody want to let me know what it was like to work here? You alright, Jeff?
Who's that? Anyone?
Jeff?
Is that you, Jeff?
I'm standing here.
Was that you that made that noise?
That was me.
A loud banging sound or something being thrown is heard. At first, we all think it is one of us, but then it becomes apparent that none of us are moving.
Does anybody want to let me know what it was like to work here? You alright, Jeff?
Who's that?
Does anybody want to let me know what it was like to work here? You alright, Jeff?
Who's that?